Legal session convened that the Honorable Ronnie Williams, Jr., Mayor, being is hereby authorized, empowered, and directed to order the publication of the above bid. And I move that we adopt resolution number 58 of 2021.
I second.
It's moved and second. Do we have any comments from the, comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Mr. Matt, you're here. Can you, and I think I've spoken with you about this, but can you explain this a little further to let everyone know what we're doing?
Yeah, this is a digger truck that we use to set poles and also to set transformers on poles. It's replacing a truck that's in use now that is 17 years old. So we're starting to have some trouble with that truck, and also parts are becoming obsolete for something that old. So we have two trucks like that, so we always have a backup. So this is replacing the older of the two.
Okay, thank you. It's been moved and second. Time for roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes?
Harrington,
Yes.
PT,
Yes.
Motion carried. Okay, it's moving pretty quickly. Okay, we're down to resolution number 59, and that's Councilman PT.
Thank you. Resolution number 59 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the mayor to advertise and accept bids for the post-closing transfer switches, bid number 0640. Whereas the city wishes to advertise for public bids for post-closing transfer switches, bid number 0640, whereas field proposals shall be addressed to the City of Natchitoches, Office of the Director of Purchasing, P.O. Box 37, Natchitoches, Louisiana, 71457, are received at the City of Natchitoches Purchasing Department, 1400 Sabine Street, Natchitoches, Louisiana. Whereas bids will publicly open and be read aloud at 11 a.m. on Friday, August the 27th, 2021, held at the above-mentioned Office of the Director of Purchasing. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Natchitoches in legal session convened that the Honorable Ronnie Williams, Jr., Mayor, be and is hereby authorized and empowered and directed to order the publication of the above bid. Sorry. I so move that resolution number 59 be adopted.
A second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? At this time, I'm going to ask, I think, Mr. Lee to elaborate on this a little further. Or is it Matt?
Yeah,
Matt.
these are transfer switches we mount on poles out in the system, and these will be mounted near the hospital. So if the circuit that's currently feeding the hospital should have a fault on it and a breaker open in the substation, now under that situation, we have to, if it's in the middle of the night, we have to call people out. They have to come out and they can manually open and close switches. And that can take, 30 minutes for somebody to get here, and then another 20 minutes for them to actually get on site and do the work. So these switches will do that automatically. So if the circuit that's feeding the hospital faults out and opens up at the substation, one switch will open to isolate the hospital, and seconds later or milliseconds later, the other switch will close to get the hospital back on. So the hospital would only see a blink, and they would be back in service. And that way, crews have time to come out and evaluate the other circuit and get it back on, but we keep the hospital energized.
Thank you, Matt. You did explain that to me. Thank you for explaining it a little further for everyone else to understand it. Any more comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes?
Harrington,
Yes.
PT,
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. Next, we're down to Resolution 060, Councilman Harrington.
I actually would like to Motion to amend the agenda in order to remove item number 60 from the agenda due to the fact that I think it was inadvertently left on the agenda. It's premature at this time. And is that my understanding, Ed? It will be brought back later.
It'll be back on the next meeting. The National Park Service requested additional time to review the plans for the TMP depot, since they will be the tenant in the depot, and they just want to double check and make sure everything is correct. So it'll go to one of their division offices to review.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and second that this matter be removed from the agenda and that the agenda be amended to show the same. Roll call vote, Ms.
Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes?
PT,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. So that will be removed and put on the agenda at a later date. At this time, we're down to resolution number 61 by Councilman Nielsen.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Resolution number 61 of 2021, a resolution of the City of Natchitoches, State of Louisiana, approving that instrument titled Memorandum of Understanding, the agreement between the City of Natchitoches and JBL Communications, LLC, DBA V1 Fiber, which agreement provides for an understanding between the parties on matters concerning cooperation in locating and or potentially obtaining capital funding for various telecommunication projects, prescribing terms and conditions for said agreement, and authorizing the mayor of the City of Natchitoches, Ronnie Williams, Jr., to execute same. Whereas the City of Natchitoches is a municipality located in the state of Louisiana, parish of Natchitoches, governed under a home rule charter, and whereas further, the City of Natchitoches is specifically authorized under Section 1.06 of the Charter of the City of Natchitoches to provide for general welfare, safety, health, peace, and good order of the city, and whereas further, JBL Communications, LLC, DBA V1 Fiber, is engaged in the business of designing, engineering, owning, and operating smart city networks, generally consisting of fiber optic facilities, industrial and public Wi-Fi, private LTE, CBRS, and hybrid fiber, and wireless networks to provide other essential services. And whereas the company has expressed its desire to seek private and philanthropic donations or grants, state and federal grants, interest-free loans, and other sources of funding, collectively broadband capital, which shall be earmarked exclusively for services within the city, potential broadband network, system updates, and whereas the company has requested the city to enter into the agreement in order for the company to move forward with seeking of funding for a potential project, and whereas further, the attached agreement entitled Memorandum of Understanding provides for the cooperation between the city and the company in seeking of funding and potential project, whereas under the general law and home rule charter of the city has the right, power, and authority to promote, protect, and preserve the general welfare, health, peace, and good order of the city, and whereas further, the city will expend no funds nor give anything of value under the terms of the agreement, and whereas further, the City Council of the City of Natchitoches, Louisiana, acting as the governing authority of the city, is of the opinion that the agreement with company will promote the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the City of Natchitoches. And whereas further, the governing authority has determined the city will expend no funds nor give anything of value for this agreement. And I move that we adopt resolution number 61 of 2021.
I second.
Thank you. Let me just say further that my understanding, talking with the mayor previously, this is a grant, is a contingency, based on contingency. So, which means we won't have to pay out anything unless we get the grant and get approved for the grant. So the city will not be out of any money, any funds at all, is my understanding of this. And it is for broadband services here in Natchitoches. Also, we're going to have the company's going to participate by Zoom today. So get ready for the Zoom. Do we have any, before that, do we have any comments from the city? Any public comments, questions? Questions? Mr. Come on. To the podium, please, and state your name.
My name is Wayne Holm, and Dale, I appreciate you reading that, but I understood very little of it. An agreement usually has something from both sides, and you kept saying the city has nothing, has to put up nothing. Could somebody explain that a little more English-like?
Well, who want to explain it?
I will.
Go ahead.
V1 Fiber will seek grant money in order to upgrade the city's system and as to the broadband network. The reason it's kind of bland is because they're going to seek the funding, and they get paid a contingency fee, which is 5%. And once we have the revenue stream, and we want to use that for the broadband services, then we'll move forward with another agreement. This is only for them to get the funding from the state for us to use it for the purpose of broadband network.
All right, and they will be seeking the funding themselves?
Yes.
Not as part of the city grant funding?
Well, look, they'll be seeking the funding on behalf of the city.
All right,
Yes.
as something separate from what the mayor was doing? And
When you say what the mayor was doing, you mean the other grants?
The 23 million thing?
The raised grant, I think.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This
Thank you,
group is
thank you.
going after state funding.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Alex, thank you.
I think, is it state and federal funding, or just state funding?
Well,
Just state,
in the resolution, I listed all.
all
potential
of, right.
Wherever the money.
Great, right
And I had to
now.
read it twice.
Any more comments? Okay, we've had a motion and a second. Ms. Stacy, it's time for vote, roll call vote.
Thank you. I stepped out of the room. Who seconded it? I missed it. I was back there.
I did.
You did, thank you. Eli,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Harrington,
Yes.
PT,
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. So, that brings us to, I want to thank you all. That brings us to the next thing on our agenda, which is announcements. So, if you can find it. I don't have it on my agenda over here, Ms. Stacy. So, okay. Councilman Nielsen, can you read those announcements for me, please? Can you see those? We have August the 9th. Can you read that for me? Rosemary, can you see it?
August the 9th of 2021, it will be the next city council meeting at the Natchitoches City Chamber at 5:30. And also, we have the Natchitoches former market is going to be July the 31st, downtown Riverbank from 8 o'clock a.m. to noon. And we have also scheduled for the 31st will be the food truck, live music, and fireworks. It's going to be from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it's going to be the Louisiana Sidemen, and it's free admission.
Okay, so hope everybody get out this weekend and take advantage of that. That concludes our announcements from the city, unless we have any announcements from the public. Any public announcements? Would any of our directors like to say something before we join? Kevin, Randy, Chief, Assistant Chief?
I'll move to adjourn.
Wait, I don't have a second.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.